would have resolved all pending petitions by then?
For the party list, sorry, for the candidates who are running on their own, no, yung mga individual candidates natin, the original expectation was that we would release it by December 15. I don't know that we can make it exactly December 15 because there are still motu proprio petitions against certain candidates that have not yet been resolved. You know? We'll see. We still have 2 more days to see kung ma-resolve nila yan. In which case, once na-resolve nila, then we can come out with the list of official candidates. And again, just to circle back to your question, then that means na na-resolve na lahat ng issues.
Opo. Sir, for candidates who have expressed their withdrawal verbally but not have filed anything officially with the Comelec, they will be on the list.
Yes, a verbal withdrawal is well meaningless, no? As far as the official list is concerned.
If the candidate files his withdrawal officially after the ballot is printed, what happens to sir?
Whatever votes received from that for that particular name will be considered stray. Okay? Hindi natin babawiin yung balota para matanggal yung nag-withdraw ng late, no? So it will stay there, and inevitably people will vote on that name, and those votes will be stray.
All right.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you, sir.
Neil, just unmute and then, yeah, go
Thank you
ahead.
po. Good afternoon, Sir James. And,
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir, you mentioned already the list of candidates. About the BBM cases po, Sir Marcos, how many all in? And what's the status of this? Will Comelec have to consolidate these cases? And when do we expect decision po? Thank you.
I believe as of now there are like 9 pending petitions. I'm not so sure it's 9, but I think that's the latest number, no? Will there be consolidation? I cannot tell. Some of these cases have been raffled to different divisions. So I guess in the proper case, a move will be made to consolidate, but no such move has been made yet. Certainly no indication from the divisions that they will do that. So again, as with all these petitions, wait and see tayo.
I see. Yeah, so the ball is on the court of which department or which
Well,
entity,
yeah,
sir?
yeah, it's with the divisions, no? The balls
Okay,
are with the divisions. Yeah.
I see. And after the divisions po, ano yung mga next steps po for this case?
Well, after the division, pwede sila mag-appeal sa Commission on Bank. They can appeal the decision of the division, or they can go straight to the Supreme Court on a petition for certiorari. That's their choice.
I see. Alright. But pwede pa rin matuloy yung pagkampanya nila, yung
Yeah.
at maboto sila without
Yeah.
ano.
Yeah, kasi hangga't hindi na pagdidesisyonan yung kaso, nasa listahan sila, and therefore they can do whatever it is they're doing now, and pag pumasok ang campaign period, they can start campaigning officially.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Melissa,
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Sir, first, would like to follow up, sir, dun sa December 14 raffle. Have all the MR decisions or yung mga na-deny, have they been informed already or given the copies of their decisions? Kasi may nagsasabi, sir, they still cannot go to the SC for the status quo ante order because they don't have the MR decision still.
Yeah, this morning, I think the Office of the Clerk has released at least 30 resolutions to 30 different parties, no? And then they're working on the remaining 70. We hope to be able to release all of that today.
Sir, but is it enough time to run to the SC? Baka kasi will you consider another postponement, sir, of the raffle?
We're not talking about that right now. Walang ganyang panawagan, walang ganyang decision. So we will release the resolutions today.
All right. Sir, just I'll go to the social media issue about the verification. It was medyo nag-pick up yung criticism about it over the past few days. Sir, may update na po ba on the new policies and are you sticking with that verification requirement?
Why will there be an update on the new policy? The policy was enunciated in the Fair Elections Act implementing rules and regulations. No, it was only just it's just that someone picked up on it and said, this is how I understand it, and they understood it wrong, and everyone ran with it. So there is no new update on any new policy because the policy was enunciated in that resolution.
Sir, yung new deadline, meron na ba?
Wala pa.
Wala pa. Okay. But no plan to adjust about the requirement to verify. So you mentioned, sir, kasi di ba may YouTube? Are there plans to go?
Look. The day we released that, someone tried to make some noise about it, and I said, if you have any problems with it, write the commission. Write the commission, ask the commission to strike it down. No one has done that. Okay, we are not really going to be changing policy just because some people on the internet misunderstood the provision, right? We've been explaining it to everyone, and as you can see, and I'm sure you've heard the explanation, and you can see that all of this noise really makes no sense, right? Okay, this particular criticism that people are saying that you need 100,000 subscribers. I mean, the very people who are claiming to be disadvantaged by this over the weekend, they already got verified. So ano sinasabi nila? Right? And the people who get verified, they're not coming out and saying, "Uy, guys, okay na-verify kami, hindi kami kailangan umabot ng 100,000." You see, I mean, so it's a little strange that when it comes time to feign outrage at something that they're obviously misinterpreting, they're all gung ho about it. But when they get what they want, they're all quiet and not clarifying the confusion that they created. See, that's a thing, though. That's a thing. We never said that you're supposed to have 100,000 followers. We just said you need to get verified. Did anyone try to get verified? Because those who did got verified. Ganun lang naman kasimple yun eh. Diba?
Is there a plan to also tap Facebook and Twitter? Kasi YouTube yung una niyong pinili.
Dude, we're always talking to these platforms, and we've said from the very beginning that we are talking to these platforms. This is not a new thing. This is not some novel development. Okay, we've dealt with these platforms before, and we've told you from the very beginning that yes, we will be talking to them.
All right. So, sir, last na. Sir, may update po ba on the debate?
Wala. Wala, Melissa. Next question, MJ.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, good morning. Yung ba mga party list na bilang sa listahan na hindi makakatakbo pero dumulog sa Supreme Court, can they still join sa bunatan bukas?
Pag nakakuha sila ng status quo ante-order, then yes.
That's it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir Greg, your turn po.
Alright. Sir James, sorry for soundbite purposes lang po. May we emphasize bakit kailangan yung verification or verified accounts ng aspirants?
We're requiring verification as a precondition for putting out political ads because we want to make sure that there's accountability for these ads. We want to make sure that there's accountability for the information that's being pushed out. And we want to make sure also, number two, we want to make sure that people have a credible source that they can trust, right? So that people will be able to differentiate between fake news and real news because of where it's coming from, right? Now, I understand that just because you're a verified user doesn't necessarily mean na hindi ka naglalabas ng fake news. We know for a fact that sometimes even verified accounts do churn out fake news. But at the very least, in that particular case, there is accountability. Malinaw yung accountability kasi verified ka eh, di ba? That's the equivalent of a candidate saying, I'm Greg Gregorio and I approve this message. Yun yung katumbas nun, right? When you're verified. And so these two reasons, no? Number one, we want to establish accountability, and number two, we want people to have a trusted source. Okay, one one of the one of the solutions or one of the strategies for fighting fake news is to tell people identify credible sources of news, identify sources that you can trust. This is one way of applying that principle to the election campaigns. When you have a verified account, then yes, that is a trusted source. If that trusted source sort of, still comes out with fake news, then at the very least, like I said, it is accountable.
Sir, mag-shift lang ako dun sa recent order ng Comelec Second Division denying all the motions for intervention in relation to Bernace et al. How does this impact yung timeline natin for the possibility of having a resolution at least for this? And kung magkaroon po ba ng isang division ng isang resolution for a case, okay na po ba 'yon or kailangan lahat ma-resolve?
Doon sa unang question sa pag-resolve nung incident na pending motion for intervention, wala namang impact 'yon, no? Kasi umaandar naman na yung kaso, no? What I didn't get the second question. What was your second question?
Sir, di ba kasi may petition to cancel COC and on the other hand, merong petition for disqualification sa separate division. Kapag nagka-ruling po ba sa cancellation, kailangan pa rin hintayin yung sa disqualification or vice versa to possibly remove a candidate from the official list?
Not necessarily, no. A disqualification and a cancellation. These are two different things. They are two different grounds, and they can be resolved independently of each other.
Sir, last lang from my end. Sir, maybe get a Comelec's reaction on the petition filed by a certain coalition last Friday on they are pushing for the suspension of 2022 elections to a later year, 2025, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's not well actually about that. No? I was interviewed earlier today, and apparently they told the interviewer that 2025 was just a typo, and that their actual proposal is to move it to 2023. Regardless, 2023 or 2025, I think that's a long shot, right? It's a very long shot for two reasons. Number one, when you call for a suspension of the elections like this, no, of this magnitude, essentially, because they want to do it for the entire nation and they want to do it for, at the very least, a year, although their petition does say 25, you're basically saying ignore the Constitution, right? You're saying ignore the Constitution. Let's not hold the elections the way the Constitution says we should, every 3 years. That's number one, which means the implication of number one is that, of course, you're going to need to amend the Constitution to do that, right? You cannot simply ignore the Constitution. So it's ridiculous because you want to suspend elections, but you're going to have to hold elections in order to suspend the elections. Why? Because in order to amend the Constitution, you're going to have a ratification plebiscite. And a plebiscite is, hello, an election. So, medyo absurd siya, right? So, number two, there is no holdover provision, right? There is no holdover provision, which means that if you do suspend the elections after, for 2022 and hold it in 2023, then that means you have an entire year when you have no elected officials, right? So what are you gonna do? Are they gonna nominate people to hold these positions in an appointive capacity? By whose authority? And for what purpose? Right? So this doom mongering, it doesn't help, right? And the petition itself, I think, is probably based on a mistaken notion that since the Comelec has the power to suspend elections, that it can do so this way. Just to clarify, the Comelec does have the power to suspend elections when the conditions for free and fair elections do not exist. Ano example niyan? Example niyan, nasunog yung mga balota, binaha, or in the context of COVID, lahat ng teacher, lahat ng alternates na hinanda natin ay nagka-COVID bigla. Or kaya hindi na pumasok. So, for that reason, yeah, you can suspend the elections, but only while that reason exists. Ibig sabihin, kung gumaling na yung mga tao or nagkaroon ka na ng replacement or bumalik na sila, then you can hold the elections forthwith right away, right? You're not supposed to suspend it for any great length of time hanggang sa lumipas lang yung problema. right? So while the Comelec does have that power, again, the proposed application of that power is wrong. Okay? And so again, if the commission wants to take it up, that's fine, walang problema. But again, uh, it doesn't look like it's going to have much of a chance.
Sorry sir, just to clarify, bukas possible pa rin i-take up ng unbank itong petition?
Of course, kung sinabmit yan formally, I don't know, personally, I don't know if they've submitted it formally, right? I don't know kung aabot siya sa unbank because the agenda for the unbank is prepared ahead of time. So what I'm saying is, kapag napunta yan dito, at the proper time, maaring ma-take up pa rin yan, right? Maaring ma-take up pa rin. Again, if it is a formal petition.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Up next, Sir Dwight of Rappler. Dwight.
Hello. And James, I would just like to go back to the verification issue. I would just like to ask some specific questions. So, sir, for example, if a candidate has not submitted their YouTube channel to Comelec, but they post ads campaigning for themselves during the campaign period, are they liable for an election offense?
Sorry, can they post ads of themselves, or are you saying that they're going to post content that promotes themselves?
First, sir, first campaign ads na sila misma promoting themselves, pwede po ba yun, sir, o bawal po yun, sir?
Hindi tumatanggap ng campaign ads ang Google, for example. And if they post it on another platform and they're able to post it, then I will assume that they have been verified because platforms require verification of their page. For example, Facebook. You cannot post an ad on Facebook unless you're a verified page.
Sir, how about if they post content featuring themselves?
That's
but
fine.
let's say it's one of those trends like say never have I ever challenge, ganyan, can pwede po ba yun? Are they liable for anything?
They're not, because that's not an ad, right? So it's content.
So sir, just to clarify it, so pwede silang mag-post sa unverified channels nila. If ever di sila mag-submit ng kanilang YouTube channel, ang bawal lang ay mag-post sila ng electoral ads.
Yes.
Apo. And sir, can we get more details lang, sir, about the partnership with YouTube? So, does that mean, sir, that YouTube is ready to verify as many as 18,000 candidates kung ganun karami po yung submit ng channels nila with Comelec?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir. Next question. Yes, sir. Next question, sir. I would like to go back lang sa raffle. For soundbite lang, sir, since tinanong na rin kanina Melissa. Since the reason po kaya pinospone yung original raffle on December 10 is to give party list groups a chance to go to the Supreme Court. But as of now, na may 70 party list groups po na hindi nabibigyan ng denial orders, hindi ba parang it's a bit unfair for them that they have this very little window period?
Hindi pa tapos yung araw, number one, and number two, if they feel that they have if they feel that they've been disadvantaged, then they have avenues for redress. I suggest that they take it up.
Okay, sir. I would like to ask din po questions tungkol din sa Marcos cases. I'm not sure po if natanong na kasi nagsimula kanina before 1 yung press con. Sir, we have the Danilo Lihay case that was the pre-conference was conducted on November 18. Is it deemed for resolution already? Ano po kaya yung status ng case?
I have not checked on it. Let me get back to you on that. Yung kay Lihay yan, di ba?
Opo, kasi if yun po yung pinakaunang na file, it's possible po na yun yung pinakaunang. So hoping, sir, makakuha ng updates even after the press con.
Yeah, go ahead. Hope away.
Okay, sir. And sir, yung sa Ilagan petition, may summons na po ba doon? Ano po kaya yung latest update? Since usually does.
Let me check. Alam ko wala pa tayong update sa ibang mga petitions. Except that yun na nga yung sa intervention. That's the only update that we've been given.
Okay, sir. Sige, yun lang po muna yung questions ko. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So we have questions from the chat box. One is from Gab Humilde. Um, what is the status of the Akbayan and Mangelen case under the First Division? When will it be when will be the pre-conference for these two cases? Salamat po.
We will from my staff, si Sarah Assis is online. She's taking note of this request for information, and we will update you when it becomes available.
Sir, another question from Gab. Question from Gab, sir. What if the first and second division have different decisions on the cases against Marcos? Paano po magkakaroon ng compromise to have a single decision on it? For a while po. So yun po yung question ni Gab.
Sorry, sumabog yung computer ko. Hang on. Okay, that's a question. What if the first and second division have different decisions on the case against Marcos? Paano po magkakaroon ng compromise to have a single decision on it? Yan yung sinasabi natin, Gab, na may posibilidad na mag-consolidate, no? To avoid that sort of thing. Pero so far, wala pang decision to consolidate. So I guess wala pa sila nakikitang dahilan or posibilidad na magkaroon ng conflict.
From business world.
Okay. When do you expect to finish all election cases, including the disqualification case against Bongbong Marcos? I've said it over and over again that it will take as long as it takes. Okay? So wala tayong expectation dyan. How long do you expect the Marcos case to go on if it gets appealed to the Supreme Court? Then it gets appealed to the Supreme Court. Ask the Supreme Court how long it will take them to decide. Anything else? No more questions? Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you.